Hello guys, it's me Appolonia. Welcome back to my channel. Hope we're all doing great today. So it is super hot in my room and I am wearing a sweater because I can't find the actual shirt I wanted to wear. But I did want to show you guys. This is a copy, obviously, of Galileo's thermostat. And so when the balls, so basically the second ball, it will show what the current temperature is in the room. So it's at 80 and I am wearing a sweater and dying, but I still want to film this for you guys. So today I felt the inspiration to share my perspective on the differences between a twin flame, a soulmate, and a karmic soulmate. I feel that, well, I'm like 2 years away from 30 and I've had a little turnaround with each and every one, and a few life lessons, that's for sure. So I wanted to share what I've learned from some other people and from my own experiences. So I'm going to start with the karmic soulmate, because you most likely don't wind up with that one. You shouldn't. And then I'm going to go to the twin flame, which is you most likely don't wind up with that one either. And then I'm going to end it with a soulmate connection because that is most likely the one that you will wind up with. So I have a lot of notes here. I'm going to try and mention everything in about 10 minutes, but I'll probably go over. So with a karmic partner, it's not a smooth relationship and it's really hard to let go of. It's difficult and a strong connection, and you're normally brought together because in a past life, if we believe in reincarnation, energy can never be created or destroyed. It simply has existed in one form or another and continues. Then we believe in past lives. So most likely you guys had not left off on a good note in a previous life and they're brought back to clear that karma. Oh yeah, it's fun. Lack of mutual respect, I would say. It's like a one-sided desire from one or the other. One will desire the other one more than the other one desires them. There's some possession, jealousy, shallow, I would say it's a pretty shallow relationship. And then you both normally wind up unhappy and miserable in the end. And it's overall, a life lesson. But this, I would say this relationship is supposed to help you as long as you work on yourself, to become who you need to be for the soulmate relationship later. Okay? So it does have value, obviously. I should also mention that with all of these relationships, you have a previous soul contract, okay? You basically, with God, source consciousness, whatever name you want to put on it, signs a paper up there where you said, these people will come into my life and they will help shape me into who I need to be, or awaken within me part of my life purpose, So yeah, you signed up with a soul contract with each and every one of them. All right, so once the karmic relationship ends, I would say from a lot of psychic readings that I've done, people will tend to meet their twin flame. Now, not everyone has a twin flame. I should clarify that. They say that if everyone had a twin flame on Earth, the Earth would literally need to be 7 to 8 times larger than what it is now to encompass that amount of energy. So only people who are extremely spiritual get a twin flame. And I think you're kind of blessed because I think it is one of the hardest things to go through. I've never been on drugs, but I think it's probably worse than having a drug addiction because it's over the feeling of love and you feel like you're completely losing yourself because this person is supposed to be your soul in another body. So I will talk about my personal experience with that. But before I do, I'm going to list the normal signs where you know that it's a twin flame. So, and if you don't have a twin flame, then you're going to go straight from a karmic relationship to a soulmate relationship, okay? Once you've done the healing. But if you're highly spiritual, you'll want to listen up, because then you most likely have a twin flame. So 5 signs where you know it's a twin flame. There'll be a spiritual awakening. You both will normally become psychic, and if not, you'll open your third eye and become more intuitive. The second one, you just become more like attached to the metaphysical, you know, with crystals, law of attraction, spirits, all that jazz. It's an inner knowing that you know that this is your twin flame. You may have some doubt, you know, with anything, but like deep down, you can't deny it. And then they call it like dark night of the ego, or the soul. So yeah, that does happen. All right, I'm going to go into some more details about knowing it's a twin flame, and then my personal experience. So number 1, everyone agrees on the internet that it is the same soul as you, okay? You will feel each other's emotions. You will, in order to attract them or allow them in your life, you have to completely let go of the ego. It's called, actually I'll list the meditation down below later. And then I would say you have a magnetic attraction for sure with this person. There's synchronicity. There's telepathic communication. And it's like you want to be in union. But like it's pretty hard to balance out. Okay. So I'm going to give some more details on this, because I could really talk about this one forever. So we only get, if you do have a twin flame, you only get one. Thank God. So mine, I'll talk about mine for a little bit. Let's call him Mr. H. So it was like 7-8 years on and off. I had met him at a cafe I used to frequent when I was in college, and he was in college. And when we saw each other, it was like a movie. And this is how a lot of twin flames experience it too. Like, there was an instant knowing. I was like, man, he could be my husband, which I never said about nobody. And then I was like, he would not stop staring at me. And I was like, okay, this white boy is really handsome, but he's kind of weird. And I was like, sitting there at the table, and I was like, if he does not look away, and like he had been looking for like 30, 40 seconds, I was like, I'm gonna give him the biggest bitch look ever. And then he eventually looked away, and then time went on, we got introduced. But when I touched his hand, which a lot of twin flames will tell you, there's something with electricity, so much energy of the same soul in different bodies. So when we touched, it was like one of those buzzers, you know? And we both looked at each other really weird, and then it was like, wow, he feels really familiar. So most twin flames will get that as a sign. There'll be the obsessive thinking. And it's not like, you know, sometimes we like someone and then they're in the back of our mind all day. This is like, you feel like God or the higher power is making it happen to you. Okay, like you have no control over it, and it won't end. You will just randomly cry over someone you just met. So, and there's a lot of people that talk about this. I'm going to recommend a guy down below and a link you could check out. And then there's a run-chase dynamic, which, yeah, you get that for sure in a lot of relationships, but this one is like 10 times more extreme. And it will normally be the feminine energy running away, which was him, and the dominant energy fucking chasing, okay? Shit's not fun. You normally don't wind up together. I mean, it's possible, you know, once you balance each other out. The whole thing is like, If you think about them more, they will run. And yes, that happens in conventional relationships too, but again, this is like 10 times more extreme than that. They're actually trying to find scientific backing for this right now. I'll when I put his name's New World All Star, and I'll put his link down below because I took his $400 course, and that really did help. And then you guys may be star seeds. I know some of you who are highly spiritual know what this is. So you may share that. You may also share the same dreams. It was very weird. Mr. H would, without me ever telling him anything, would literally tell me about a dream he had, and it was the same dream I had as a little girl. Like that, or like sometimes it wasn't even dreams of this life or anything that was going to happen. It was dreams of past lives, of our previous reincarnations. So things that cannot be made up, and things I had never told him. So you may have the same dreams. So alrighty, there's that. And then I would say the synchronicity. So like when you stop thinking of a twin flame, they will normally like want to come back in your life like a magnet. More so than a conventional relationship, more so than a soulmate relationship. And here's the other thing is when they come back, all your other soulmates will be repelled away. They're, again, trying to find the scientific backing for this, but it's just how the energy works in this dynamic. So I would say that. It's... so the synchronicities, the telepathic communication, I remember when I first met him, and even when he went away and would come in and out of my life, like when I would stop thinking about him, I would see him at the market. I would see him at the library, I would see his name, which was he has a kind of different name, like on trucks and stuff. On the TV, I turned on the TV and there was some character with his name. That's not a coincidence. It's a synchronicity. And then so another thing with him, like with twin flames in general, so with the telepathic communication, I've always been able to feel when he's thinking about me, and then I'll get like a confirmation, like when we used to have each other on social media, I would be like, okay, Mr. H is thinking about me. And then, because he's a read in between the lines kind of guy, he would post like a picture of a fucking apple, which people call me Apple for my name. And then it would be like our angel numbers we shared together. It would be like our like a cat, a similar cat that we both had. It'd be like a post all about me. I knew it was about me because it was only things that we shared, in pictures. But I would get that post. It would show up on my Instagram or social media after I would receive the psychic intuition. Oh, he's thinking about me. Okay. So that that is a twin flame. That is such a challenging relationship. Mine is far, far away in New York. He is now a model, and he could stay over there. Yeah. He is also a psychic, just like me. All right, moving on to the last one. So these are soulmates. So this is the relationship that you will normally wind up with. And how do you know if you have a soulmate? Basically, if you have the desire for one, then you have one. It's that simple. And there's not just one soulmate. So this one's different from a twin flame or karmic partner. You have multiple. Because you have to think about it in the perspective of if God or the higher consciousness would have only have made one. What if that one died from drugs or a car crash? Then you would, be lonely for the rest of your life. And I do believe there are certain children that need to be born from certain genes and to better the world, so you get more than one soulmate. So thank goodness for that. They are different souls, but there's normally an instant connection. It's normally easier with them and calmer. I would say that it is yeah, a pretty easy, harmonious relationship. Don't get me wrong, there's still challenges involved, like with any relationship, but they're workable, you know? You'll normally meet each other after you've gone through all this, okay? So then you're ready for each other. I would say there's like mutual respect and trust with each other. Um, it's not quite yin and yang, but it's like you do complement each other. Yin and yang is twin flame. And then, yeah, you normally do wind up with this one. I've had a few of these, but the thing is that God or the higher being can bring them in, but it doesn't mean they're ready. You know, one of you could be ready and the other one's not. And they also say that if you haven't healed, your soulmate could be in front of your face and you don't even see it. You can't recognize it. So you need to be in a place of love in that vibration in order to recognize it, okay? Yes. So I'm going to talk about, lastly, should I personally talk about that one? Well, my last few, one was really just too focused on his life and he was already with someone, that soulmate. And the second soulmate, he was already with someone too. Yeah, and he's with the karmic soulmate right now. So just really bad timing on the last two for me. So now I'm going to go into how you can manifest each one. So the karmic partner, basically, I mean, that one kind of comes naturally where you're kind of pretty young and you're starting off and you're wherever your vibration is really with your parents, because I said 93% of families are dysfunctional. You're pretty much just going to attract that off the bat. And you'll feel the connection, but again, they won't last long. So yeah, that one I'd say that just comes naturally, along with manifesting a twin flame. If you're kind of in the vibration of feeling like I would like to feel the same soul, or a relationship that like grows me the most spiritually, if you're like feeling those emotions, I would say they will come in easy. And then a soulmate, there's a lot of general statements that you can do. So you could say this relationship is so easy. They have so many qualities about them that I forgot were important to me. It's harmonious. You know, we fit like two peas in a pod. It feels like love. I would say that's the biggest thing. I'm going to recommend another course I took. It's by Agnes Vivarelli. This course I just finished while I was in school. I was so busy the last few months. But it was about a 3-month course. And basically, it's on Zoom. And they will teach you partly it's law of attraction. And then it's also, you know, just establishing the healthy boundaries in a relationship. So it's about the physical and the non-physical of making a conventional or soulmate or specific person relationship work. So I will put that link down below too. And then week by week, you will get relationship advice on whoever you're trying to manifest, or on the soulmate you're trying to call in. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. I will include the links to the courses I've taken that have helped me grow. And yeah, I think that's everything. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.